accomplished very much in your 3 years of law school. You've done the hard work, but you've had great support from a tremendous faculty, very dedicated faculty, staff, administration. You've been able to attend law school in one of the finest facilities in the country, and you've had the opportunity to have a great experience at our law school. As you go out into private practice or whatever career you may go into, I would encourage you to continue to support our law school and our university. Continue to encourage you to give back with your time and financially. Making our law school a better law school not only benefits the law school, but it benefits each of us as graduates of the law school as the law school continues to grow, continues to improve. We have a very active alumni association at the law school. We're active in supporting student events, scholarships, faculty support, and in any other ways that the Law Alumni Association can make our law school a better place. Again, as the dean has mentioned in his previous stops, he said that he has not seen a law school association as enthusiastically as involved as ours is. And I encourage all of you to become involved as graduates with our Law Alumni Association and continue to support the law school. Second, in welcoming you to the legal community, I was asked to say a few words, give a few words of advice, and I want to keep this brief, but there are a couple of things that I'd like to mention, and there are things that you typically hear at graduation addresses, but I want to say them anyway, briefly. First is you'll be going out, you'll be going into private practice, you'll be going into government jobs, maybe the judiciary at some point, in-house jobs with corporations, or some of you may go into careers that are not directly related to the law, but you'll certainly be influenced by everything you've learned in your legal career, wherever you end up. And the first point I want to make is how important your reputation is. You'll be starting to be known and develop that reputation from day one on your jobs. It's so important and so lasting and so difficult to change if you do not develop a strong reputation. And that's in several ways. In your work product, people are going to come to think of you as a good lawyer who does a good job or not. I do primarily real estate work, and when we order title files from the title company, and I get a thick stack of deeds and deeds of trust and other documents that were recorded back 25, 30 years ago, and it's got that prepared by and returned to as the name of the lawyer who prepared the document at the top of the document, I immediately have an impression about what that document is going to look like because I have an impression of that lawyer who prepared it. And more often than not, if it's someone who I've known to do a good job, that document's going to be good, well prepared. If it's someone who I've dealt with who doesn't do a good job, I really know that, and I'm going to be very careful in reading that document. Second, your reputation is determined in many ways on how you communicate with other people, whether it's your client, whether it's other lawyers or others. You can be a firm, strong advocate for your client, but still communicate well, not be unreasonable, and no matter how good a lawyer you are, if you're not able to communicate well and on a good basis with people, it's going to negatively impact your reputation. Third, the decisions you'll make as a lawyer are not all right-line decisions as far as ethical decisions you'll have to make in your practice. There are a lot of gray areas where you'll have to decide whether you should handle something in a particular way or not. And when I started practicing law, there was a senior partner in our firm, and his advice was, if you really have to worry about whether you should be doing something ethically, whether it's permissible, whether you can move forward in that way, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So all three of those categories, your work product, your communications with other people, and your ethics are going to develop your reputation. And I encourage everyone to work hard on that, because as I said, it's not something that's easy to change. Second and last point, most of you have outstanding legal skills at this point, have great ability, but so much of that is not going to take you as far as it could without the hard work and effort. The same effort you put in law school, you need to continue to put in your careers and your practices. As one quick story, as a young kid, I was an enthusiastic tennis player, and had high hopes for a great tennis future. There were two top tennis players in Memphis at that point, and I watched them play in many tournaments, and I would also watch them in the summers on the courts practicing. One of these top tennis players was always out during the day, always practicing, great tan, great shape, and the other guy, I didn't see much. I seen him at night playing some. He wasn't in that good of shape. He didn't have the tan appearance of someone who's been out playing tennis all day. As a young kid, I asked my dad, what's the difference? Why does this second player not practice as much, not look like he's in as good of shape? And his response to me then, which I didn't completely understand, but I do better now, was, oh, he's a lawyer. And I learned later, the point of that was that this guy, who also later learned was a very successful lawyer in a large Memphis firm, was working most of the time. He got to play tennis, but he was putting in a lot of long hours of hard work as well. And that's what it takes to succeed in a legal career. Your law practice certainly shouldn't be the most important thing in your life, but if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to work hard. So those are my words of wisdom. Again, I'd like to congratulate each of our graduates, welcome you to the practice of law, and wish you great success in your careers, and hopefully we'll have a chance to work together. Thank you.
Thanks, Hunter. We've now come to the last principal speaker in our program, and that is our student speaker. And it's a student who's selected by the graduating class to make an address. And this year, the graduating class selected Samuel Ivey. So please to welcome Sam Ivey.
Wow. Can you believe we did it? How long to a restful summer if we didn't have that little quiz at the end in July? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished deans, faculty, staff, parents, family, and friends, class of 2014, thank you for electing me to be your graduation speaker. It's an honor and privilege. I know what the best speeches are about. They're about 5 minutes, so I'll try to keep it brief. I want to say a special thank you to my girlfriend, Jennifer Ballard, for helping me get this speech together today, whose notes and outlines had I not had, I wouldn't be standing up here in this dirty road. But I really did make the right move sitting next to you 3 years ago on the first day of class and whatever. Jennifer is graduating magna cum laude today. Meanwhile, I'm graduating cum lucky, thank the law. Seriously, folks, we want to thank all of the family and the parents here. Your names are not on the diplomas, but our names certainly wouldn't be on the diplomas if it weren't for you. And I've got a feeling your names are on some promissory notes on our behalf. So thank you for that as well. My mom and dad have been such an inspiration to me. My dad was going to law school when I was 2 years old, and he taught me to say my alphabet backwards. And he said, son, you'll use this when you least expect it. Fast forward 22 years, I'm sitting in criminal law class taught by Professor Steve Mulroy, and he has us write a fun fact down on an index card. So naturally I can say my ABCs backwards. I didn't know 2 weeks later I was going to be standing up in class reciting my ABCs backwards. CYX, WVUT, SRQP, ONML, KGHG, NVD, CBA. But law school, class of 2014, you know this, law school really is a different animal. You don't know what you're going to get every day, especially 1L. You all remember this. I think it was the third day of orientation. Dean Romance cold calls on somebody to brief a case that I may or may not have read. But he really put that guy on the spot. And he said, let this be a lesson to you to be on your toes in law school always, and always be on your toes as an attorney. And I never forgot that. And I also didn't forget the guy that got called on that day. He's no longer with us, but I remember. But to our faculty and deans and staff, I say much obliged. An old Southern term that means double thank you. Double thank you for your patience, and double thank you for your expertise these last 3 years. You know, I was thinking of an inspirational thing to leave you guys with today, and I was reminded that you didn't put me up here because of my grades. And you didn't put me up here because of the amount of cords around my neck either. But the message I want to share with you today is, remember to think like a lawyer, like you've been taught in law school, but don't forget to think like a human being. I can't think of a better example of this than an old 7-page book that was written by my granddad, L.H. Cotton Ivy, former Commissioner of Agriculture and former state legislator. It's a book about getting along with people in everyday interaction, how you can have the best experience. It's entitled, How to Get Along with Others. It's only 7 pages long, and there's a short phrase on each page, so I'm going to summarize it for you here today. Page number 1, 7 words. Sometimes you must say, I don't know. Folks, we all know that a know-it-all most of the time ends up by themselves at the end of the day. Page number 2 is 6 words. I admit I made a mistake. Wars have been fought, fortunes lost, lives have been ruined, all because people weren't willing to admit they made a mistake. Only a fool never admits when he's wrong. Page number 5. I got that backwards. It's page number 3, 5 words. You did a good job. You did a good job. When warranted, this phrase can lead to everlasting endearment. Page number 4, 4 words. What is your opinion? Or what do you think? Folks, if you're talking to people and you'll say this phrase, you'll find that instead of a lecture, you'll be having a conversation. Page number 3. Page number 5, 3 words. An old Southern saying, if you please, it really puts people at ease. It's like rubbing salve on a skint place. Let me give you an example. Excuse me, sir, if you please, let's get her opinion. Page number 6. 2 words. Thank you. Thank you. Heartfelt gratitude. Or as old Southerners say, you heard me say earlier, much obliged, which means double thank you. Finally, the last page of the book, How to Get Along with Others, in my opinion, the most important page. It has 1 word on it, and the word is not I. If you use I too much in your conversations, you're going to find you lose a lot of attention. The word is we. We can, we will, we must, we are trying. That's it for you when you make the word we. Finally, in closing today, I'll leave you with a quote from one of my favorite authors. He grew up right here on the mighty Mississippi, writing novels about it and telling stories about it, Mr. Mark Twain. You probably heard it before. He said, don't let your schooling interfere with your education. Class of 2014, that degree in your hands means a lot. It means a lot of things. It means the hours that you spent studying for tests in the library. It means the test you took, and it means the grades you made. But it means a lot more than that. It represents the relationships that you've fostered over the last 3 years. It represents the connections that you've made, and it represents the